What's up, Ryan?
You've heard of Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
You've heard of Daffy Duck.
I'm Daffy.
But welcome the newest Looney Tune. Brendan Fraser? Say what?
Whoa! Go on. Tell me more.
He's silly. He's wacky. He can do all sorts of awesome things. He's the star of the movie with his new girlfriend, Kate. The other new Looney Tune. Join them back in action, and they'll be around for years to come. You expect to see them in all the new shorts. Looney Tunes are getting real. Yeah.
Rated PG-13. Please don't take your children to this one. It's gonna get wet and wild.
Oh
It's
my
gonna get a little
god.
nasty. It's gonna get a little sensual, but only PG-13 sensual.
My dick's out in this one.
If it's out if you peek at a certain angle, if in a frame that looks like there's something between his legs.
No,
It's
no,
really
no, no, no,
crazy.
no, 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 no. Simpsons movie was PG-13 and got Bart's penis on the big screen. I think Looney Tunes could be PG-13 with one Bugs Bunny penis.
You think you could get away with it?
I think Bugs Bunny's earned a penis appearance on screen.
He's earned it.
He's earned a
If the-
penis appearance. He's America's favorite cartoon character.
You think that everyone would be really cool about it? Like they'd be like, "Oh, bugs," or would
course.
they be like, "Man, that's kind of inappropriate."
No, everybody would love the Bugs Bunny penis appearance.
Okay, you know what? I'll have to take your word for that. Hey, everybody!
Critics and audience would be raving about the Bugs Bunny penis
Hey,
appearance.
everybody! Welcome to Looney
Are you
Duels.
afraid of something?
Hey,
I'm not doing Looney
everybody!
Duels. No, don't
Hey,
start the show.
Hey, everybody!
I'm here to start a
What do we-
conversation.
You of all people should know that I'm not afraid to talk about Bugs Bunny's penis, but we have a show to run here, and that could come in later when we're talking about the graphic on-screen sex scene between Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny that happens in this movie.
Okay.
This is a podcast where we take Looney Tunes characters, we start to assemble them in our minds, like kind of really think really hard about them, and then we imagine fantastical scenarios in which they might be in combat. Then we, kind of discuss, their strengths and weaknesses and hopes and dreams. Today we watched a very special movie, Looney Tunes Back in Action. Truly a product of its time, I feel like. Do you disagree?
I think it is in a lot of ways. I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. I think one of the things that makes it such a product of its time, is I feel like this came out at a time when confidence in Looney Tunes was maybe even lower than it is right now from Warner Bros. Because I feel like they're desperately trying to get on screen this entire movie. Do you get that feeling like this movie? This is really Brendan Fraser's movie when you get down to it.
Well, yeah, because he was a big star at this time, like in The Mummy and all that, and it's definitely very Brendan Fraser focused in a way that I don't even think like Space Jam
No,
was like Michael Jordan focused.
no, because I would say Space Jam, for all its faults, has like dedicated Bugs Bunny scenes, right? Like scenes where it's just Bugs Bunny and Daffy doing something for a bit. This one is like all Brendan Fraser, and like Bugs and Daffy are just trying to get on screen the entire time. They do like background gags the entire movie. That's their role in this. They're the comedic relief in their own movie.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of those kinds of movies where every time Bugs and Daffy are not like really doing anything, you're just like, man, kind of want to see what Bugs and Daffy are doing.
I don't think it's
Like-
I don't think it's a surprise. The absolute fan favorite scene for this movie is the Daffy, Porky, and Elmer scene, because it's like the one scene in the movie that's like all just Looney Tunes doing Looney Tune things.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun like things in this movie. I don't think I hate this movie. I think it's actually pretty funny and like a fun time. But it's definitely flawed in a lot of very obvious ways.
Mhm.
But you know what?
Who cares?
I
I
don't
want
care about
spat.
any of that. Yeah, what are we learning here? So I guess the first thing we got to get off our plate here is this movie is one of those kind of Roger Rabbit things where the cartoon characters are actors, but instead of how they are discriminated against in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and treated as like a minority class, in here they're treated like superstars, more
Right.
so, right? Like
They just kind
Bugs
of
is,
exist. Like nobody questions
yeah,
Foghorn Leghorn working at the casino. That's just a normal thing.
and we will get to that. Don't,
Oh
don't
no.
worry about that. We have Bugs and Daffy. They're working for the Warner Brothers, doing a lot of, I guess what they usually do. Daffy gets fired because a new Looney Tunes character, who we will call, I say we will call, who the movie calls Kate, but I kept forgetting her name.
She's
She's
woman.
she's the woman character who's like, I don't understand why you would want to keep Daffy. He's not popular and he sucks and I hate him. And she's like a total nag. And then, she fires Daffy Duck and he's like, okay, bye. Then it turns out you can't do Looney Tunes without Daffy Duck because duh, you can't. And so then she's like, well, fuck, I gotta go get him back. And the adventures, hijinks ensue. So Kate is a new Looney Tunes character. Her stats are she is a average height, average build white woman.
We're gonna have to.
She,
we're gonna have to like pit against like each other, like all like the Looney Tunes human characters in these movies, right? Like at some point, like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Brendan Fraser, and Kate. We're gonna have to put them all in a pit.
Even if you think about it, like there's so many characters from the Space Jam movies and this one that are human characters. It's like how deep are we going? Do we count the Acme CEO guy? Like I don't even know his name.
I don't either.
But
I think Michael Jordan's the only one who's gonna survive long because he's the only one who can harness tune power in any way. He gets that long arm at the end.
Does LeBron James do that?
No, he doesn't. He just does normal basketball all the whole movie.
But he makes that really silly face though.
He goes, oh, that's true.
Really...
Hold on. He does have funny face move. And also, if we count multiverses, because we did a stream of it for this podcast, he does have so many awesome basketball powers. Never mind.
It might be LeBron James.
Oh, that's true. We're back on LeBron. He's got the funny face. He's got the ball mechanic. He's got the defense block mechanic. I think he's back in the ring. Brendan Fraser needs to step his game up.
Brendan Fraser, his character's name is actually DJ.
Oh, yes.
Because his name is Damien Jr.
I forgot
his
that.
Dad, who is also, I'm going to be putting in the battle royal at the end. Don't even worry about it. His name is Damian Drake. He's a super spy. He's kind of badass. Just a little bit.
He's a little awesome.
He's like what you think of when you think of like, oh, it's a super spy. Like a little kid's idea of like a super spy. He's kind of, he's like very James Bondy, but he's like, a dad, so he's like nice.
Yes.
And he beats up a lot of guys and then he gets captured, so Damien Jr., DJ, or Brendan Fraser, our main character, has to go on an adventure to go save him, and he just happens to bring Daffy along with him. He doesn't want to bring Daffy with him, but as he quickly learns, like, Daffy has an incredible power where it doesn't matter what you do to him. You could throw him out a car window, he will be back into that car.
This movie is making our job very difficult, by the way, because Bugs and Daffy don't really participate in any of the action scenes in this movie. Like, when they start fighting, Bugs and Daffy just kind of fuck off. Like, there's a part in the casino where Brendan Fraser fights a bunch of guys, and Daffy's just in the background, like, screaming the entire time. They don't even let Daffy, like, hit a guy with a frying pan or anything. Like, he doesn't get to do anything. It's horrible for our Looney Tunes stats, but great for our Brendan Fraser stats.
Yeah, so we have a lot of, new DJ, like, moves. So he is an aspiring stunt actor. I guess his dad is like a cover job is that he's a stunt actor, or not even a stunt actor. I think he's just an actual actor. Like, he's in a bunch of movies. And so DJ wants to, I guess, get himself up there. He works as a security guard currently at the Warner's Brothers. So he has, I guess, some training in like faking getting punched, falling off tall buildings and balconies.
Right.
I guess. So he's an agile guy. He's kind of, light on his feet, can take a punch from the big cartoon thug characters that try to kill him.
The iconic Looney Tunes cartoon thugs characters. They're all over this movie. Yeah, this is their moment.
They're all over. So let's put a pin in our new found Looney Tunes characters. I want to talk about some of the new dynamics that we get to see in this movie. So one of the most iconic scenes from this movie happens towards the beginning. It's where they're at kind of a fancy restaurant. Kate is talking to Bugs Bunny, trying to get his input on like what to do about the Daffy situation.
He dresses like Marilyn Monroe, and everyone in the world learns something about themselves in that exact moment.
In that scene, we see a few other cartoon characters. Shaggy and Scooby are there, which is great. And then we
Awesome.
see Porky Pig and Speedy Gonzales, and they're sitting at the table together, and they're kind of talking about political correctness. Which, okay, sure. This is the first time we've seen these two characters interact with each other on this show.
We've only done one Speedy episode, and Porky wasn't in any of those, so yes.
Yes, so this gives us a kind of new outlook. Do you think that Speedy and Porky are friends?
Yeah, I mean, I can believe that. Like Speedy is like the coolest Looney Tune, obviously, and Porky's like really chill compared to a lot of the Looney Tunes. He's got no reason to bother Speedy. I feel like a lot of the Looney Tunes like to start shit. But
Yeah.
Porky doesn't, and I think Speedy would like that. Like, just like somebody not giving me some shit finally. This pig, I like him.
Well, Porky doesn't start shit, but he sure will finish it if you start.
Oh, of course.
He's one to look out for.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He wouldn't bother. He's got no reason to bother Speedy. He's not Daffy's stupid ass duck.
That's true. So I do think Speedy and Porky probably get together for like brunch every so often, and so that's just kind of nice to think about. I like that Porky has friends. I feel like he deserves normal people in his life.
Awesome.
To help him. We also have Yosemite Sam is featured in this a lot, and I always forget how much I like him. He's such a funny character.
No, he's like, I think my favorite of all the guys Bugs goes up against, typically, like of like the rarely recurring ones. I think he's like almost always funny.
Yeah, so he's there. He owns this big shiny casino, which I guess means he's doing well for himself in this world. He owns a lucrative business. He's making a lot of money. He's got like a chest full of diamonds or whatever. Like it's a very like cartoon like jewels in a case, gold coins. Treasure. He's got that in his casino. So, I mean, that's good for him because sometimes when we see Yosemite, in the shorts, he's kind of fighting to survive a lot of the times.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in this universe, he's doing pretty well for himself.
So can we, I guess, assume that Yosemite might have access to wealth?
Yeah, I guess so. Do you want to talk about Foghorn Leghorn working at this casino? I know you do.
Yeah. So Foghorn Leghorn is there looking the best he's ever looked in his entire life. He's got a little outfit on. He's got a hat. He's like running the blackjack table. Like, I don't know how he got to where he is right now, but damn, does he look good doing it.
Yeah, he's kind of the only one of the few Looney Tunes in this movie that isn't either a villain or like an actor at like the studio. He's just kind of working at this casino.
Yeah, Barnyard Dog is there too.
Yeah, there's a
Actually
few.
a lot of Looney Tunes dogs.
There's a few.
There.
There's a few Looney Tunes dogs there.
Yeah, I guess Foghorn is just like working. He's a working man. He seems in his element too. Like he also introduces Dusty Trails or Tails. I forget. She's the super spy lady that DJ finds that knows his dad, and she's also super sexy and good at fighting apparently. So he introduces her act when she's on the stage.
He seems to like the job, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think he probably makes a decent amount of money too. I mean, he's around money all the time, so I don't know, maybe he gets tips or whatever. I don't know, but good for him because usually he's not doing much on the farm,
No. One of the interesting things about this movie is I feel like both the Space Jams have a lot of Looney Tunes in them, like in the main role cast trying to do a lot of things. They spread them out in this one a lot more, right? Like when you're done with the Foghorn scene, I mean that's it. That's the end of Foghorn in this movie. When you're done with the Yosemite Sam scene, he's done. Most of the characters appear, do their scene, and then leave. It's not like 50 Looney Tunes in the main cast. This is really the Bugs and Daffy movie. I think Roadrunner stops appearing after his intro scene. And is he on the poster of the movie?
I don't know. He might be, but he's not.
He is.
Way.
He is on the poster of the movie. He's in this movie for 5 seconds.
He's very much not there, but I think that works to the movie's like betterment, honestly, because it's they're traveling a lot. They're going to different places and locations, and it's kind of like funny to think about, like, okay, so they're stranded in the desert. Of course they're gonna run into Wile E. Coyote out there, like, duh, like he's not gonna be anywhere else. He works for the Acme Corporation in this one, which is like an evil, like, I don't know, they're like aren't they in space? They're like a big spaceship in space.
No, they're in a very tall building. They go to space later.
Oh, okay, sorry, but yeah, it's like a board of people who are just, I guess, wanting to rule the world, and Steve Martin plays the fucking CEO, and he's very, very unfunny.
This yeah, he sucks. I do want to bring up something more interesting than Steve Martin's awful performance in this movie. And that's like the question of what characters in this movie are this movie's weird canon, right? Like the only Looney Tunes we know are actors are Bugs, Daffy, Elmer, Porky, and Speedy. They're the only ones we ever see at the studio. Somebody's working at this casino. Wiley's in the middle of the desert. Marvin's in a jar in a place. Taz is like in a cage. Like, what does this mean for Looney Tunes? Like in the this is the real version of the Looney Tunes. Okay, the cartoons are all the fake shit. This is the real shit. What does this mean for all this? What's going on
Well,
here?
I guess it just is a world where cartoons and people live as one, and this will eventually, due to circumstances still unknown, turn into the Lunatics Unleashed universe eventually.
I'm more fascinated with the fact that Looney Tunes cartoons definitely exist, but only a few of them seem to be actors in this universe.
So there's no like Wile E. Coyote shorts, like actually.
I don't know, maybe because the other alternative is there was, and then everything went so bad for Wiley, he had to start actually living in the desert, which is also actually a really funny idea to me.
You know, I think that could have happened. Like maybe they're just like has-beens, like Yosemite Sam used to be. You know, with Warner's brother, maybe he got his start acting, and then he got a little startup money for his casino, and then he, you know, took off. And then Foghorn's like, hey, you know, like actually that sounds pretty fun. Let me go do that too.
Right. I'm into this idea now, mostly just for the Wiley thing, because I think the idea that, like, everything went to shit for him after his acting career, and now he actually lives in the desert starving. Like, it didn't just go bad for him, it went horrific for him, like, actually life-ruining, like, his life will never be normal ever again kind of situation for him.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It's funny. Because everyone else is doing fine for themselves. It seems like, you know, somebody's got his hotel, Granny and Tweety and Sylvester, they have a very nice house. You know, things are going good for most of them. Except Wile E. Coyote, who lives out in the desert, starving to death.
I would also argue Marvin, who is stuck in a jar.
That's true.
So we need to talk about Mother.
Oh, yes.
So, Mother is a kind of, like, I want to use the word evil scientist, but that's not what she is. She's like a crazed inventor, or like an eccentric inventor for Damian Drake, the super spy. So DJ stumbles upon Area 52, which is where she's been kind of hiding out. And she's got all these kooky and crazy aliens stuck in like jars, and it's like the Dalek from Doctor Who is there, and it's like, oh look, it's that thing from that thing. And there's a horrible CGI monster.
Yeah, can I ask, am I stupid? Is she supposed to be like his actual mom? Is that the joke? Or is like the joke?
No, it's not the joke.
I'm okay, I might be stupid.
I don't think that's the joke anyway. I think it's just that like she's called like Mother, like kind of like the alien ship. The ship in the movie Alien is like the computer there is like they call her Mother. Like Mother, pull up the scans.
I don't know. It's just because she keeps saying things to him that like seem like she's known him since he was literally born. Like she gave. I don't know. Maybe I read into it weird.
No, I think that she's just been like friends with Damian Drake for such a long time, but she's never actually met DJ because like she's like Damian Drake keeps his super spy life so like private and secret even from DJ that it's like she's only ever seen him in pictures. So when she's like, oh, I've only ever seen you since you were like this small, and she holds out her fingers like barely apart, and it's like, oh, it's because she's only seen pictures of him.
I read the TV tropes page real quick. They say ambiguously related, so
that's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on TV tropes.
Should we talk about Mr. Chairman actually, like the Steve Martin character? He is technically the third most important human character in this movie.
I guess. I mean, he's like cartoonishly evil. He yells at Ron Perlman for a little bit. He hired Wile E. Coyote, and he kept Taz in a cage. So at some point, I don't know, through his own will or just because he has a lot of resources, he was able to contain Taz, which I feel is no small feat.
Right. He seems,
and Taz listens to him too.
He has power all over the villain Looney Tunes for sure, which is interesting.
Elmer too, I guess.
Yeah, and Elmer, great. That's good
Yeah,
for him.
Elmer turns he turns evil halfway through the movie in a very very fun chase sequence in the art museum between him, Bugs, and Daffy, which was like one of the best scenes in the movie.
We should like maybe discuss that. This movie like helps clarifies which Looney Tunes are evil and which ones aren't, which is an important stat.
That's true. I guess so. We got on the good guys team. Bugs, Daffy. I guess you could argue Porky and Speedy because they don't really participate in the movie.
Yes.
They're just kind of like there. At some point, this is where it gets a little like I don't know how much we can trust this data. So in the beginning of the movie, DJ is at his house and his neighbor is Granny. Granny, Sylvester, and Tweety are all there. Like way later in the movie, like we're talking like the third act of the movie, those three characters reappear in like I think they're in like India, like in the middle of like the jungle, and it's Granny, Tweety, and Sylvester are there, and they're like, hey, like what's up? They act like you would expect Granny, Tweety, and Sylvester to act, and then as they're about to get the like big like blue jewel or whatever it is they've been chasing, I forget what it was called already, and they go to get it, and Granny like rips off a disguise or something, and it's actually like the CEO guy, the chairman guy, and then Tweety and Sylvester also rip off their disguises, and they're also like goons or whatever. And so anything that happened in India with those three characters, I guess we can't take as actual data, but that being said, there is a moment where Tweety Bird is
Okay.
Oh wait, I've remembered now. So actually, they're in Africa because Tweety Bird.
You want to talk
I
about
don't
it?
even know how to describe it. No, can you say it? I can't. I can't do it.
Tweety Bird sees much of his kind start beating up Sylvester the cat, and then he wears some traditional African clothing and says freedom or something like that.
He said he discovered his roots. So I guess Tweety is black. I don't know. What do they want me to do with this? But again, that's not actually even really Tweety Bird. It's
The
like
interesting thing though, and it's something I know about, that was supposed to actually be Tweety at some point in the movie. During production, this movie had a very different ending. The climax was supposed to be at the temple, and Tweety was supposed to be actual Tweety. Sylvester and Granny still would have been Taz and Steve Martin in disguise, but Tweety would have been Tweety. So now we have to think about and consider, is that scene from the draft where Tweety was still Tweety?
Or was from the draft where Tweety was Taz? Would that make it better?
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, what makes it worse?
Is that Taz in disguise, or is that actually Tweety? Vote in the comments below. Do you believe that Tweety Bird genuinely believes he has some African heritage that he is disconnected from, or do you think Taz was just being stupid? It's your choice. You can pick. Put it in the comments. We'll talk about it next time. So other than, those three, we also have Marvin, Wiley, Yosemite on like they're pretty much the bad guys, like with the chairman. They work for Acme.
Yes.
Like the chairman calls up Marvin and like tells him, all right, now it's go time, and that's when Marvin makes his escape from the jar. And so then he also is the one who calls up Wiley, and he's the one who has Taz on basically a chain, whatever. He's got him in a cage, and he controls him and tells him who to attack and who not to attack, and Taz listens to him, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, Taz is like very respectable to him, that's for sure, which is interesting.
You think he subdued Taz with some smooth jazz or
He's
something?
He's got some headphones in his ears that we can't see.
Yeah, that's how he gets it to do what
he got some AirPods in him.
Elmer as well, the bad guy.
Yeah, Elmer. What a pathetic bad guy.
he like disappeared. Like they like disintegrate him. I think he's
He
dead.
doesn't come back. A few of the villains come back for the climax. Like Marvin and Wiley come back for the climax. But Elmer doesn't. So there's a good chance Elmer actually died.
Yeah, they just like turn him into a painting, and then they blow him away, and he just kind of melts.
Uh,
He's gone.
the three bears are neutral Looney Tunes.
Foghorn's a neutral Looney Tune. Buzzy Buzzard.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
in this
for like 3 seconds, and he is the
and
villain.
isn't he like evil?
Yeah, he's flying the helicopter to kidnap Kate.
Yeah, that's right. When Kate gets kidnapped. Good lord. Do you want to talk about the robot dog?
Oh my god.
This has to, now that you're saying that there was like a different ending, this is like total, I can get it now why it's so like awkward and weird. This like giant CGI robot dog they add at the very end for no reason.
Yeah, okay. So there was supposed to be a space scene, like a space technology themed scene. That was supposed to be early in the movie. All the Duck Dodgers stuff was supposed to happen at during when they go to Area 52. Like all that was supposed to happen then, and then the climax would have just been at the temple, and they changed things around. I don't know if the giant robot dog was in that draft of the movie. I don't think it was, from what I can remember, because it's mostly Daffy and Marvin flying. I don't think the robot dog is part of that at all. So the robot dog was something they added late into the game.
It is one ugly, ugly robot dog, and the CGI was not there, was not ready for such a ginormous creature
It's really
to be on the screen for such a long time.
It's so bad. I'm looking at a picture right now to like remember it. They like tried to stylize it a bit. It doesn't work.
But who cares about his looks? What's his stats? Is he powerful? I mean, he's pretty damn powerful. He's a giant fucking robot. So I guess he's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
How do they defeat him?
They don't defeat him. Like, they like use him to like do something. I don't remember what. They use him to like to get the dynamite on Wile E. Coyote's freaking train or whatever. And then once he blows Wile E. Coyote up by accident, he just gives up.
So he's got a very weak will, this robot dog.
He gives up immediately.
Does he even have a name?
I checked. It's just robot. It is. I think it was. Yeah, it's just Robo Dog.
Robo Dog. Now, here's a question. Remember that? Who's the enemy of Cool Cat? Who's that guy?
Oh, you think I remember?
Come on, you gotta remember.
He's like a safari hunter. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, so you remember how he's got like I think it's an elephant, like a pink elephant or something, and it's like a robotic elephant.
Yeah.
Or something, like sometimes. Okay, robot elephant versus robot dog. Who wins?
I guess the robot dog does more. Like,
you think so?
What does the robot elephant do again?
It's a robot elephant.
Yeah, I guess this one could just smash it. That's something.
Okay, well, the robot dog can defeat exactly one other robot character. So I guess
he can probably defeat Wile E. Coyote's stupid robot, that awful short we watched.
Oh god, yeah. But what else does the robot dog count as a Looney Tunes dog? Is he one of the pack?
I don't want him to be in the pack. I don't want him to be part of this.
You don't think they'd accept him?
No, he's not in there with Charlie and Leopold and all my friends.
I was gonna say Leopold's so kind.
He's not in there with.
Take him under his wing?
Barnyard Dog's gonna see this guy like, we can't let this putz into our group, into our pack. He's nothing.
Oh, and then the robot dog like whimpers and like walks away, and then sadly looks back, and then whimpers and walks away.
He sucks. I hate him.
He's not even like an evil robot dog. He's just like a big he's like a big puppy.
He gives up super fast. Yeah.
Yeah, he like, I feel like if you told him off really well, he'd probably stop trying to attack you, and you could just tell him to like sit or something, and he'd probably just quit. He probably wouldn't care that much.
He gives up pretty damn easily in this. After Wile blows up, he's like, well, that's it. It's over.
I wonder too if he like what his power source is. Like if he takes up a lot of power, like can you just like wait him out? Like some of the like less powerful Looney Tunes, if they come across him on the battle royale field, round the corner and see the giant fucking robot dog, are they gonna be like, shit, gotta sit out for a bit?
No,
gotta go hide in the hole?
I think there'd be no problem for him because the only characters we see go up against the robot dog are Brendan Fraser and Kate. I think a Bugs Bunny went up against this robot dog could be over in a few seconds.
Okay, you're right. I mean, like DJ and Kate are not exactly super powerful. DJ a little bit more so, just because he has got like fighting moves. Kate is, I'm so sorry. She's so useless. She's so like I don't think she does a single thing to help solve like the mystery of like the what they're chasing, because the whole thing is, it's supposed to be kind of like spy actiony, adventure movie, right, for like kids.
Mhm.
So they start in one location and they find like one clue, and then they got to go to the Louvre to go look at the Mona Lisa, and like look at this card, do this thing that they got at the casino. And I don't think there's a single moment where like she contributes like something to like the clue or puzzle solving. Maybe there's probably one. I don't know.
No,
but
she doesn't.
it just she gets kidnapped. She impedes progress, so she's very useless. I don't even think she does anything during the dog fight. I think like she just fumbles around and then she makes it worse somehow.
Yeah, I think she might suck up an ass.
Kate, I'm so sorry. You and that guy from Looney Tunes Babies is gonna die like immediately from when you landed the. What's that guy's name? Floyd.
Floyd.
Yeah, you and Floyd.
The guy you were
and Floyd are gonna.
convinced was Butch.
that you and Floyd are gonna like open your parachutes and collide into each other and then just fall to your deaths. I'm so sorry. And then DJ's gonna be really sad, and then DJ's not gonna be able to fight, or he's gonna go like super revenge mode.
Oh, no,
and,
no.
like, kill everyone.
LeBron's gonna use his funny face attack and he'll die immediately. We've been talking about these stupid ass human and robot dogs. I want to talk about a new power we learned of Daffy's in this movie. He can use his beak as a boomerang. Let's talk about that. It's fucking
Boomerang
awesome.
beak. That's classic like first 10 episodes of Looney Duels like power is Daffy can take his beak off and throw it like a boomerang.
It seems so simple compared to like evil Porky or whatever now.
It's like classic.
It's like, oh, Bugs Bunny could use his ears as a helicopter. And now we're on like, oh, Speedy Gonzalez could run faster than a bull and pick it up and bring it back. Okay, but also...
It's a simpler time, but...
No, okay, but his beak is powerful, though, because if he sucks his beak in after throwing it, he can block a laser that was supposed to hit the entire planet. That is, like, not nothing.
That's true. That is true. He does get big and round when he blocks the laser with his mouth. He takes the full brunt of it, which is very brave and powerful of him. I was very impressed with Daffy for his, I guess, selflessness. Like, usually he's very self-centered, and throughout this he is very motivated by, like, I'm going to get the blue diamond or whatever, and it's going to be mine, and I'm going to sell it. But he's, like, very easily convinced to, like, help out after that doesn't become an option. Like, he doesn't, like, fight against her or go, okay, you guys are on your own. Like, bye.
Well, what happens is, he's a coward at first, but then he thinks, what would Duck Dodgers do? Maybe Duck Dodgers, to some degree, is, like, his consciousness, like...
Oh,
like Duck Dodgers is a hero, and he's buried deep down in Daffy Duck.
that's so beautiful. So whenever Daffy needs to like get in touch with his morality, he just yells out, "Duck Dodgers!"
Yes.
Transforms. Well, I feel like there might be some toons who would like if Daffy tried to form an alliance with them, they'd be like, "No way, and not with you, Daffy. But you bring Duck Dodgers out, and we have a deal."
True. That'd be okay. That's actually really good. What if that's a weakness now? Actually, like, what if like so Daffy's at to kill someone, and they go, "Would Duck Dodgers do this?" And then he transforms and spares them.
It's like a painful transformation too. He's like, "No, please."
I want to murder you.
I think that it's definitely something worth discussing, because Duck Dodgers, as far as we have seen him, has still been kind of a, like, showboaty, a little bit of an asshole anyway. But he is trying to be a hero. Like, it's not from lack of trying to do the right thing. It's just that he kind of sucks at it.
Yeah.
We might need to watch that cartoon just to get a little bit more data on Duck Dodgers.
I guess we need to. We're like not gonna watch any more shorts before the end of the show. Now we're just gonna keep watching shit like Looney Tunes Babies and like Looney Tunes skateboarding or something.
I feel like I've gotten all the data I can from the classic shorts right now. I need to like go further and beyond. I need to like open my mind to different versions of these characters. What they can like, limitless potential for these guys.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna find out. We gotta find out what the hell is going on with Duck Dodgers, and I forget the name that Porky gives himself in that show, or whatever, if he's just Porky, whatever. there's something going on there.
He's just usually called the young space cadet, if I recall correctly.
That's it. What the hell's going on between those two? But that we're getting off track here. Okay, so a lot of stuff happens in this movie that it mostly pertains to these new human characters. You know, they're fighting a lot of the fights. They're doing a lot of the main action.
Like I said at the very start of this video, Bugs and Daffy really are, and this is just a funny thing to say about a movie where they're the folks on the poster. They really are like they're like the minions of this movie in a lot of ways. They're just doing like side gags to like the main characters a lot of the time.
Yeah, so it's hard to pick out some exact powers. Now I will say Bugs Bunny can use the Force, like the Force from Star Wars. So everybody's got to really
When does he do that
watch
again?
out for that. What do you mean, when did he do that? It's when he has the giant lightsaber battle with Marvin in space.
That's right. I remember the lightsaber. I just didn't remember him using the Force.
Yeah, because he, like, has a book open. It's, like, Force for Dummies or whatever. And he's, like, reading it and, like, trying to use it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
We need to talk about his other awesome power, his transportation ability. When they're like, how do we get his transportation? Remember, like, they're like, how do we get to Paris? And then he just, like, goes like this. And then he just pulls, like, the screen up and they're in Paris.
Oh, yeah. God, Bugs, I keep trying to, like, nerf him a little bit, because we hit a peak with him, for sure, where it's like, he's like an ultra god being at this point. And it's like, okay, well, we've seen moments where he's been a little bit more mortal, even in this movie. But then he just does shit like that, you know, he changes their location by pulling up the corner of the screen.
I can't believe he did that.
He
just... Yeah, the Force thing almost feels like nothing to me. Like, yeah, he can do the Force. That's fine. It's the like the freaking like pulling the side of the screen up and like transporting everyone to Paris instantly thing. Like, that's just some nonsense he can do now.
Can he do that in a battle situation? Like, maybe he's in a terrain that is got a big disadvantage for him. You know, maybe it's like steel floors or something, like he's in like a facility or something on the Battle Royale island, and he's like, I can't do anything with this because I gotta be able to like dig into the ground, and you know, technology scares me, kind of thing. So he just pulls up the corner and suddenly they're like in the wooded part of the arena, and like, how can you even win if he can just choose the battlefield like every time?
That's a new okay, there was a point in time like, okay, like pretty recently I was doing like the power scaling in my like brain recently, and I was like, okay, that Bugs we've seen like get stumped a few times ultimately, right? Like there's a few times like he loses the turtle, he loses to Elmer once or twice, like once ever, so he's lost before. But I don't know, now we're saying shit like he can just go wherever he wants to make it better for him. I don't know. I think he might actually just be the times he lost to the turtle were like pre-him god powers. I think that's my
before he was powered up.
That was my explanation. That's my explanation for that. I think that's just him before he became like god. That's my only explanation. Those turtle moments are like his like Joker arc, and it made him ascend to godhood, and now he can teleport wherever he wants.
Okay, now here's another interesting caveat for that though.
Okay.
What if it has a cooldown? What if he could only use it every so often? Like, it's not something he could do all the time. Because that sounds exhausting. Like, bending reality to your will.
I would literally need evidence that it is exhausting for him before I could say anything. We have no evidence that it is.
He doesn't do it all the time. Like, wouldn't he just be doing that, like, all the time?
I think he's just...
Like, when they're in that... What about when they're in that life or death situation with the spaceship and thing? And they have to get to the spaceship before Marvin does, so it's literally Daffy and Bugs, like, racing against him. Why doesn't he just pull up the corner then and teleport them to the space station?
I think he just knows he's gonna make it. I think it's as simple as that.
Well, I need evidence of that.
He's just so confident. He's such a cocky bastard. He's like, we're gonna do this shit. I mean, some shit might happen, but we're gonna do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God. Well, add that to Bugs' power list or whatever. I don't know. It's like 20 miles long now.
Yeah, pull out the actual Bible of like Bugs Bunny powers we have at this point.
There's only really one thing I want to talk about left. So at one point in the movie, they're in the desert, and they've been kind of stranded there. They're hungry, they're hot, they're in like ill-fitting clothes, and I don't know exactly what gets said, but somehow a Walmart appears.
Of course.
And it's a funny joke. Ahaha, corporate sponsor, they go there and they're like, low prices, yada yada. But there's just something about what was said. I think it was Kate who said something, because in my notes, for some reason, I wrote, "Did the woman conjure it?"
Well, hold on. Is that a new power for her?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think she says something like, "Oh man, I would like if only there was a Walmart out here," or something. Or I forget. Or she says something naysay, and it just kind of appears, the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real Walmart. They go inside it and they get changes of clothes and they get like a drink or something. And like, I almost wonder if like a little bit of Bugs's like godlike power has kind of rubbed off on her subtly, because they spend a lot of time together before they get up with DJ and Daffy.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if just like that proximity to being close to a godlike being like Bugs Bunny gave her like a gift.
Yeah.
And she's not even like aware that it's there.
She's been birthed a gift that she isn't even aware of, is what you're saying.
Yes. So like she has the ability to conjure up things, but she hasn't quite like mastered it or like gotten the hang of it, or she doesn't even like really realize she's the one doing it. Like, I imagine after the events of this movie, maybe she's in her nice apartment that I'm sure she has, and she's looking through her cabinets, like maybe she's hungry. She's, oh man, I really wish I had gone to the store and gotten some cereal before all this. And then she kind of turns away, fumbles around in another cabinet, and she turns around again and, I could have sworn I checked that cabinet. Wasn't there? Well, I guess there is cereal after all. Pulls it out. And that just keeps happening to her throughout like the next few weeks. She'll just think about something, she just a little something. Oh man, I really need a pen right now. Looks around, can't find one. But then suddenly, there's a pen. When she needs it.
Okay, so you're saying she has one power, and it's summon items?
A conjuring item.
Conjuring items.
Get it right. She's a sorcerer now.
Well, I guess she's beating Floyd now. She can summon like an axe to kill Floyd with. Not much more beyond that, but she can do that to Floyd.
Okay, so she can summon weapons and items, but she's gotta figure it out though. And I think by the time the battle royale hits, she will have figured that out. And if she and DJ are like, duoing, they would probably get a little farther than we initially thought they would.
Okay.
Anyway, do you have anything else you'd like to say about Looney Tunes back in action?
I'm like racking my brain that like there's a few like the part in the movie, and I don't know if this is a power or not. This might be a Bug's power. I think this is a Bug's power is what I'm deciding. The part in the movie where the car is flying towards Earth because it runs out of gas as a flying car, and then it stops midair, and Bugs goes, "Oh, Don, out of gas," and that saves them from dying until Kate comments on it. Can Bugs Bunny like just do something like, I don't even know, I'm questioning. Of course he can. Of course he can stop the car in midair if he wants to. I don't know why that's even a question I'm asking. If he wants the car to stop in midair, as long as it's funny, he can just. I think that's the root of Bugs Bunny's powers. Actually, I think I've discovered the root. As long as he can make a giggle out of it, it's fair game. And here's the thing though, he can make a giggle out of a lot of things. Like it's not like he's struggling to make giggles.
That might be why he doesn't use the teleportation move that often, because it wouldn't really be funny in any other situation. It's funnier for him and Daffy to fly with the spaceship and do the like roll down the window gag with Marvin. But then that begs the question, if he is using that teleportation power, like would he be able to use that teleportation power to give himself an advantage in a battle? Like that's not really funny.
I think as long as he can make a joke out of it somehow. That's his only weakness, is he has to make a joke out of it somehow.
Okay. All right. Well, then that'll be interesting for sure.
Yes, I agree.
I think that this movie is cute. If you like Looney Tunes characters and you've never seen this movie, I think you should just
You
go
need to
watch
go
it.
into
It's on the Internet
You
Archive.
need to go into this knowing it's better than Space Jam, but you're not getting Roger Rabbit out of this even remotely.
No, yeah, it's definitely better than Space Jam, but it's okay. It's a solid 5 out of 10.
You're probably gonna be a little disappointed about how actually little the Looney Tunes are in it compared to the humans.
Yes, but you'll get to learn all about Kate and her conjuring
That's
abilities. True. So
yeah,
I'm really
I mean that's the way
you.
they intended you to watch the movie.
Do we have any comments?
Not really. We have one that I think is maybe a little funny, worth discussing. This is from Crossy Hossy 382. Surprised that in your review of this first Space Jam movie, you didn't mention Marvin's centrist standpoint between the Toons and the Monstars as the referee, due to the fact he's both a Toon and an alien.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Marvin the Martian might be a centrist.
I mean that's. I guess. I mean, he's totally evil in this one, like against the Toons.
but that's the thing. The Toons there could be individual evil Toons, but like the Toon species all work together against the aliens in Space Jam. Did that make sense?
I guess that makes sense.
Like their existence as Toons will ultimately overweigh any problems they have with each other, right? Like they'll all work together in a scenario where they need to, like that. But Marvin, though, he is a centrist. You have to remember this forever now.
I'm looking at the comments from the previous video. I just want to acknowledge this one because it's just a very long comment, and I want you to know I am reading it. Not here. It's very long, but it's just a guide to watching new Looney Tunes / Wabbit. So if you're not quite sure about that, go check out the comments on our last episode 45, because Fleur Pearl 1824 left a very long comment talking about kind of just the different categories of episodes, recommending a few, which is very nice of you. Thank you very much for that. I will check these out. I'm trying to skim and see if you mentioned anything about Foghorn Leghorn. Not seeing any Foghorn Leghorn, so if you have any
oh my god.
Go to put that in there.
He's like in 2 episodes of that show, I think.
Okay, and what are the episodes?
I don't know.
Give me names.
I don't know.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Fleur 1824, who wrote this very long comment about how to watch the show.
Okay, that's nice.
Anyway, Banshee Neat says, honestly, a little disappointed that there was no discussion of the baby Looney Tunes songs that play between episodes. If you want to see baby versions of the other Looney Tunes, that's where you'll find them, and you get to hear a song that isn't very good. Please consult the Baby Looney Tunes song playlist on YouTube. I'm sure you'll learn something vital.
I feel like we watched one. We watched I feel like we watched the Foghorn one. It was like, here comes baby Foghorn, dude, something like that. It sucked ass.
Yeah. I know what we're going to be doing after we finish recording. We're going to be going through all of the songs. We won't stop until we listen to every single Baby Looney Tunes song.
Here. Get me out of here, Luigi. I need to get out of here. She's kidnapped me. She keeps making me look at pictures of Foghorn Leghorn, asking me which one has the best titties. I don't want to answer anymore. Get me out of here.
The answer is the one from the Looniversity show on Max?
I'm glad you had an answer for it.
I do. The second best is the one from the Looney Tunes show.
Okay, good to know.
Anyway, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I think we'll have much more exciting things to talk about next time that are not about Damian Drake or the CEO of
We
Acme,
barely talked about. I
think
think we just didn't want to. There's probably stuff we could have talked about, but I don't think either of us wanted to.
He just
kind of
sucks.
Sucked. Yeah.
Okay? That's all, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.